Welcome. Squatter rights. What is a squatter rights? Squatter rights, again, this is something people intend to occupy other people's property and they become rich. The ancient remedy was helpful in resolving disputes in the latter part of the Middle Ages. If a farmer continued to cultivate a piece of land at the back of his farm and a farmer's neighbor did not object, then after 70 years he owned the land. At the time, of course, it was not worth much, but this squatter rights continues. Now, what's the purpose of squatter rights? It has, first, purpose was to regularize the boundaries of the property. Number two, the added value to the cultivation of the property over a period of years, which was considered to be investment and an improvement of the land. Number three, be careful of your neighbors taking over your land. It could cost you a lot of money, and possibly you can lose the ownership of that piece of land. Now, most of us think in North America, whether we are in Canada or US, that these squatter rights are abolished many years ago. But this is true to some degree, but not true. Let's find it out. In Canada, we have two different ways of registering the land, which we call is under the land title system and as well as land titles. Under the land title system, squatter rights are abolished though. On the other hand, under the registry system, these rights have been preserved and accorded to our system. What happens to your land? Here we go. You can lose of your land. Second thing, there is an element of a liability. Now, both hurdles have serious consequences due to the loss of the land. Liability, if somebody gets hurt on the land you own, it can affect your insurance rate and you can be held liable even though somebody else has the right over your land. The squatter rights have a big issue with the neighbors. It's like a double-edged sword. You lose both ways. First, you lose part of the property. Secondly, it reduces the value of your property. How do you protect yourself from the squatters? First, as a shrewd professional real estate investor, you only have one choice, which is to sign an agreement. The agreement will waive any claim to the land and indemnify you from any lawsuits or liabilities. When you have an agreement signed, sealed, and delivered, now you can consider yourself to be safe to a certain degree. There is an alternative choice to tell your neighbor or occupant to get off your land and bite the bullet. That's the best choice. What's the time period to implement squatters' right? It varies. In accordance with the old common law rules, an individual who occupies the land for a period of 7 years or more may be declared the owner of the property. In England, this was later changed by legislation to 12 years. In Ontario, it is 10 years. Other common law jurisdictions use their own time period, but these are the basic rules which are more or less same across Canada. Do you need to occupy the land for squatter rights? Well, here is the occupation of the land must be open. It cannot be secret or in any of the nature. It must be peaceable. No one is trying to throw you off the property, either physically or through the court. It must be continuous, otherwise the time period starts all over again. It doesn't mean that you can never leave the property. You may do so long you leave enough of your belongings and you are considered to be there on the property. Now, squatter rights in US are a lot more different than in Canada. Now, in the US, squatter laws vary from state to state, from city to city. For most part, it's really tolerated to any degree for long, particularly, especially in the larger cities. In common law, through legally recognized concept of adverse possession, a squatter can become a bona fide owner of a property without compensation to the owner. Adverse possession is the process by which one acquires the title of a piece of property simply by occupying it for a number of years necessary, dictated differently by each state in US. Now, a necessary component of transfer of ownership requires the landowner is aware of the land occupation and does nothing to put an end to it. If the land used by the new occupant goes unchecked for the said number of years, the new occupant can claim legal right to the title of the land. The occupant must show the possession is actual, open, notorious, exclusive, hostile, under cover of claim or right, and continuous and uninterrupted for those statutory periods. Now, as a professional real estate investor, knowing squatter rights can be very profitable. Having proper real estate education can enhance of your chances becoming a lot more successful than otherwise. We have a very special gift for you since you have listened to us. Let Revenue Canada Agency pay your down payment. All you have to do is become a free member at www.worldwealthbuilders.com. Please don't forget to pass this information to your family and friends so they can also enjoy the same benefit. Thank you, and we'll speak to you later.